Well, it's a new month, but I think the month of lawn removal is winding down. This was the last spot that I just finished right now, and of course, it being the last was the worst. All this fresh green sitting on top here was green bermuda, and that's 100% of what was sitting around there. Not to mention all the obstacles, so we have this thing for the electric. There's also another one right there, which I think is water. There's the stop sign, there's these electrical boxes, just all sorts of obstacles that I needed to basically pull around by hand. No shovel getting in there. Also, I don't think I showed underneath these bushes. This was covered several inches of all of these leaves that have been falling from the big tree. So much so that, look at that, we can see right inside underneath the fence there. That was covered up with leaves. That's how much there was sitting underneath this. It just accumulated for probably years. And after all of that, we discovered some more sprinkler heads, so out of focus, but right there is another broken one. We knew about that one, and then there's a capped one right over there. So I think once we get all of this junk out of the way, we'll get a dumpster soon. Then we'll try to figure out the irrigation and the sprinkler system to see which of these work, where they go to. We have the valves over there, but that way we can get a better idea of where they are and that we can tap into them so that we can add some drip line and other things to revitalize this with all the new plants that we're going to be putting in soon. Let's see if we got water. Now that we have access to more of the sprinkler heads, we're going to turn this back on and kind of remind ourselves where this water's coming from. And let the waterworks commence. Oh, there's one over there. Wow, look at all of them go. We got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a dribbly one right there, which is probably buried. All right, quiet down. So there's one here that is somewhere.
Broken. Yeah.
Ooh, we got a dumpster. We're moving up in the world. Time to get all of this away and off of this yard so that we actually have a clean slate and we can start building it back up again. It's already started taking care of this pile and basically done, but again, I want to show you just how much I hate Bermuda grass. Because try as we might, of course, pulling up all of this, there's still some little bits here and there that are popping up because we have been having some rain. But after having cleaned off most of this, I'm finding even more stuff that's actually piercing through the tarp. Look at this. Here's a spot, here's another one, here's another one. They are everywhere. And then if we actually peel back the tarp, look at all that green. Water in our dirt. Gorgeous. No more tarps, no more piles of dirt. Now we're growing what appear to be bean sprouts. These are the craziest looking roots. So this was all hiding underneath the tarp. I guess there was enough moisture from the rain and stuff that it was kind of cultivating underneath.
We're at the point now where we're hand digging it out with the trowel to like try to get all the stolons of the Bermuda grass out.
Yeah.
It's like playing whack-a-mole. But I'm watering, so it's easier to like get the dirt loosened, and they're also growing, so we can pull them out now rather than once they're buried under cardboard.
Yeah.
Which will ideally keep them killed, but we want to minimize what we can now.
And as far as how much that was, this thing is full, almost full, and this is 3 cubic yards. So that's probably how much dirt we're gonna need to start putting back on top and rebuilding. Well, I don't remember if I showed this or not. If so, then this will not be seen, but we got rid of all of the grass, all of the dirt, everything that we pulled up, filled that dumpster up within the week, actually within a day, and now it is gone, and now we are left with the perfect blank slate. And one of the final things before building things back up, again, doing more weeding, like over there, it's starting to regrow itself, of course, but we need to kind of set up the sprinklers or the drip line system, and so we're basically just going to tap into what's existing. Now the valve is right here, and it looks like it goes underneath and then to this sprinkler head right here, and then it keeps going, and there's a couple of sprinklers down there, and it loops all the way around to a sprinkler right over there. But for the time being, we only need one outlet, so we're going to be replacing this and putting in a spot for a regulator and for the drip. So we're actually going to cut right along here, right at that T, right, basically, and then we're gonna have to move it out. So I've been doing this for off and on a few days. It's really not easy when there are so many roots because we want to keep these intact. So I've been basically like picking it by hand or just scraping really all around all this stuff so that we can maintain the roots. But we're gonna have an elbow here, piece of PVC here, and then put it up here about 3 feet away here because we need to build a berm, and we're gonna have a wall somewhere in between here.